This is what Misterton looked like when we first saw her, but now we were realising there was a lot more work to be done than we'd thought. But all the work was beginning to pay off, and we'd successfully moved Misterton down to her new mooring in London. How were you feeling when the waves were going over the front of the boat?
It's alright, I mean, I take my cues from other people. If Alan Pratt was looking worried, well, he'd have slowed down for a start and turned back. I thought, if he's not worried, then why should I worry? He's been doing it for 40 years.
I thought it was very long, very tiring, and I thought it was like a roller coaster ride at the start. I felt quite nervous when the boat was going up and down, and the waves were going right over the top of the roof of the tank, and the water was hitting me in the face, even though I was inside.
And how do you feel about your dream of living on a boat now?
Well, it's definitely getting a lot closer. It's a lovely stretch of the river.
So, it's certainly been different. I don't think I expected that I would be living on a boat 4 years ago, even though we're not living on it yet. We will be soon. And I like the boat. I've grown to love the boat as I've improved my DIY skills under your tutoring.
It feels like it's a lot closer now because it's the first time since we've had Misterton that we're not actually sort of depending on, you know, the goodwill or the work of other people. It's all up to us now, which is great.
What do you think you'll get done over the next couple of months then? What's your next target?
Basically, I need to get in a solid fuel stove so that there's some form of heating on it, because even though it's lovely today, it's going to get colder. I've got to get the electrics in, at least the basis of them, and get the water system in, because we get the water tanks in the front, then I can connect up things, basically so we can have a working toilet, or a working toilet that we like. We've got that porta potty, but I don't think either of us is really keen on that, so if I can get hot and cold water, some basic electrics, stove in by Christmas, I'll be quite happy with it. It'd be great to get the gas boiler in and central heating, but we'll probably survive without that if we need to. That will come fairly soon after.
I believe next weekend I'm going to be doing the workshop floor, routing it and painting it grey, which next weekend I had a vision that we'd go off for a weekend retreat to a nice spa hotel with poster beds at 4 or 5 star and totally relaxing in celebration of my wonderful birthday. But I think the reality is I'm going to be routing the floor in the workshop and painting it grey.
I might be
And where do you think you'll be spending Christmas?
on here with you.
Are you confident about that this year?
Yeah.
Were we hoping to spend Christmas on her last year?
Yes. But last year was just like a rusty, empty steel shell and it would have been freezing. I mean, even if we had a solid fuel stove and a candle, we could spend Christmas on here. You may not agree.
I'd like to make it known for the camera and anybody watching that I'm not sure about this idea of Christmas without heating. Simon and I may have to work out our differences over that one.
I think that's achievable, so we shall have to see.
And how do you feel overall now about your decision to buy Misterton and move on to it? Are you pleased with it?
Yeah, it's good. It's a very nice old boat. So.
And there were times last year when it all got a bit much and a bit sad and a bit depressing. Looking back on that now, do you still feel that way, or do you think that that was a journey?
Oh, it's all part of the trip, really. It's just, I suppose you don't make big changes in your life without some degree of pain. Something philosophical like that. But also, I suppose it shows that we do tend to stick at things, which is good. In as much as, you know, well, we could have even not started, but we could have given up, or we could have compromised, you know, a lot earlier on and just kind of put up with it as it was. But I mean, she would have just rotted after 2 or 3 more years, I think. So at least now, hopefully, it should be solid for the rest of our lives anyway.
Everything had to be tied down for the journey down, including the mast. Plus, we might not have got under Hammersmith Bridge with the mast up. The rising of the mast. Da, 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 da. Misterton with her mast back up in her new home, being loved by Simon.
Cool. Now, speaking of me, what do you think of me?
What do I think of you? I better put my glasses back on.
Why?
I'm joking.
So I can't see your eyes and see you lying.
I can't see with them off because of the sun. I think you're great. I told Alan that yesterday and he just looked quite shocked that I should discuss such things with him. He's a 66-year-old man.
How funny.
Great. I wouldn't have married you if I didn't.
Have a little look round, there's the riverbank. And we've got a church, not the Catholic church that Mary's going to be attending, but a church nonetheless. View down the river. There's the Dnipro shore, the tug that took us up yesterday. It's going to be here for another day. And let's look around. There's our mooring, bollard. It's Claire's house. It's a very nice house. And the rest of it down there.
That's our first proper home together.
Yes, it will be actually.
Me or you, it's both of us.
And we built it together as well, more or less, or rebuilt it.
Inspired by the library in Wellington, New Zealand, Simon decided to put a copper wall up in our kitchen area. It was a bit more frustrating than he wanted it to be, and it was driving him slightly potty, but he did get there. Perseverance does pay off after all. It was Christmas! Happy Christmas, everybody! We are having Christmas on the boat, so I guess Simon won that one. A tree, followed by some Christmas lights, and as you follow the Christmas lights down the side of the boat, there are more Christmas lights. I love a Christmas light. Simon knows how to keep me happy. And Simon is very happy. He's got the copper wall sorted and it looks brilliant. Table made out of the rimmer wood from his home in New Zealand. It was beautiful. Set for two wine glasses and a lovely coaster made by his mum. And here's the heat. This is how Simon convinced me to stay on board this Christmas. Little pipsqueak stove giving out lots of heat, and even a little place on top to heat our mince pies. What more could a girl ask for at Christmas? A table, some wine, a Christmas tree, and a lovely man to spend Christmas with. And perhaps a few more Christmas lights. With our new bed and fantastic mattress, just pulled back to warm it through as we've not been on the boat for 10 days. And over here we have Christmas lights in the bedroom as well. Merry Christmas, Misterton. So, it's well past Christmas now. It's now April. And this is the bathroom, which is nearly finished. Very high shower. Beautiful designer towel rail, which I discovered in B&Q, and the toilet that's nearly there. But the back there is an electrics box. That is the missing link in getting the bathroom working, because we still have to wire some things up. But a fair sized bathroom for a boat, and it's nearly there. I think it's quite attractive with all the curly bits coming out. Just the bedroom. I don't think there's any major changes except no Christmas lights. And I've just painted the porthole, which has been trimmed because we now have Keith, who's working for us, who put the bathroom in. And I've painted inside the first coat of the air vent. We now have a door in the bedroom, which I'll demonstrate to close. And you can see through it. The see-through opaque glass is going to be covered with a misty type film, so that when we're in the boat and we have visitors there can still be some privacy. Very important privacy. Here are two doors in process, which are going to go into the bathroom and the second bedroom. They're bifold doors. We had them made by the man who's currently making our wardrobe, and I've been painting them. So they're ready to go on to be hung, hopefully next week. We haven't painted the second bedroom. That will probably be the last room that gets painted because it's the guest room. That's the wardrobe I was chattering on about in the previous little clip that we brought to say we had somewhere to hang our clothes for Christmas. And then here, all along here, you can see we're painting up the portholes, the doors in. Things from the workshop are now in here. It looks a lot more cluttered in here at the moment because we're working on getting the toilet and the sewage and the heating in. But a significant change is down there. You'll see those are our radiators, and they run the length of the boat. The Swedish radiators by Aldi. I shall show the boilers later. And over here in the painted porthole We've put up the first tile that we got when we were in New Zealand on honeymoon, and it's one with a little love heart in, which I obviously love, and Simon is definitely keen on. Bought from an art shop in New Zealand in Wellington, where Simon's brother lives and where Simon's house is. But it's lovely, in our wedding colour of red. It's a little adornment, the portholes. We have more that we're going to put up, but we need to find stuff to hold them on with. Coming through this door now, and here's the workshop. Quite messy, because over here in the process, that is hot water cylinder, and that's the heating boiler. And in the next few days they're going to be operational and working, which is really quite exciting, because that means I told Simon when I could get clean and there was somewhere to put my clothes, we'd move on board. Toilet's nearly done. The wardrobe's being made as we speak, and the man's hoping to fit it this week and next week at the latest. So we'll be moving on end of April, beginning of May. Now up here is inside the wheelhouse. The big difference here is that it's been lined and painted by me with a little bit of help from Simon on the undercoat. And so that's nicely done. And also here Simon's attached the handrail. And he's made out of a piece of rotten wood from the bilges this beautiful holder that holds the handrail on. I think it looks really cool. We're going to oil that at some point and give it a bit more finish. So it's got the industrial banisters going on, which he's made himself and very proud of, which helps people get in and out with more security. And just looking down in front of Misterton, you can see the weather's much more improved. There's no snow on the ground. It's looking quite nice.